可是没有了解要练习没有用，因为都有一样的发音。So， 他们都是不一样的字，都是不一样的发音。如果有问题，可以这边看。如果他们有一样的发音，你说的有一样的发音，是不对，他们一定是不一样的。比如说看 bad, bad, bade, bed, 是 bade, bed, bead, bid, bide.这个 I 是不太一样的吧 ？bod, bode， 真的很难吗？你会的，所以没有那么难。OK， 要了解，没有练习。如果你可以这边开始不同的问题，没有很难。所以。有问题吗？可以想一点。
I'll talk about this later on. Let me go use the bathroom.
Okay, sure. Okay, well, I think we should probably start again. We'll just wait for Tim to get back from the bathroom to look at these. You can start, though, by thinking about the same problem in Chinese. In English, dumplings. Dumplings. 有一个字 right? 中文有睡着还是有right? 还有如果有汤还是没有汤是不一样的字。如果有I can't spell those words. But how many different dumplings do you have? 我的意思是说，英文有一个字 dumpling， 中文都是水饺，就好，可以吗？所以中文有几个不一样的水饺。How many dumplings can you say in Chinese? Because English is all one word, dumplings. So.
Any kind of food with a skin and the inside part we call dumpling. So
yeah. But you have different names in Chinese.
Right. So 粽子、包子、饺子，粽子、包子、饺子，
还有
汤圆，anything.
还有水饺. That's the one word I can use. Yeah.
饺子、包子。
But how are they all different? If you boil them, then you call them.
Boil them, we call them 饺子.
All right. But if you fried them.
You can call them 水煎包, 煎包 or 锅贴.
Okay. Are there other ways to make them? Fry or boil?
And with bamboo leaves.
Okay.
We call that 粽子.
Okay.
And we boil them, or we boil them as well.
So, you see what I'm doing? 了解我的问题吗？如果有两个字，英文有一个字， 可是中文有5个不同的字，所以我要了解它们是不一样，怎么可以用的 ，right? So that's how you learn words that are similar. Here we have 2 words that we often use kind of the same way. I could say that a lot of the students are indifferent about English. 英文, right? A lot of students feel that way. But insensitive, you don't really say you're insensitive about something. So in the dictionary, you might find that these are synonyms, right? You guys know synonyms? How do you say that in Chinese?
同义字
Okay. And this is one of the big problems with using the internet, Google, to find a word. Because if you look up a word, 火, right? It will tell you fire, right? But 火 has many other meanings in English. Fire has many meanings in Chinese, right? So if you just look it up there, you may not get the right one. So use a real dictionary. Look it up. You can use a smaller dictionary to start with. But the more work you put into it, the more time it takes, the better you learn it. You can ask more questions. You can learn more. So, insensitive and indifferent, they are different in how we use them. The question is, what does this mean? And what does this mean? So, if 2 things are different, right? So, I could say Chinese people look like Japanese people, right? You all look the same, right? That's okay. For us, we all look the same, right? 外国人都是一样，很像的，对不对？ If you look at me, you don't know if I'm from Australia or Canada or America, right? So, if I say that, 都是一样, I don't care about the difference. 大陆来的, Taiwan来的, 没关系. I would never say that, okay? But if I said that, I don't care about the difference. 有可能是不一样，可是没关系. That means I'm indifferent. I don't care. 有可能是不一样的，没关系. I don't care. Okay? That's indifferent. Insensitive means that you are not sensitive. Sensitive senses are things like touching and hearing and seeing, smelling. Those are our senses. Right? So when we talk about somebody being sensitive, it means he can feel things easily. Like, for example, this is a little bit different. There's a little place here between the buttons. If your fingers are sensitive, you can feel where the buttons are, right? Without looking. If your fingers are sensitive, you can feel that. But if you use part of your hand that isn't sensitive, maybe if you use your elbow, right? You can't feel the difference because this is not as sensitive as your fingers. So, if you are not sensitive, it just means you don't feel it. So if I walk into a room and I start saying, Taiwan should be part of China. Yeah, we should go back to China. And you are all angry, and you start to throw. And I don't notice. I just, yeah, Taiwan should be part of China. that's really insensitive, right? Because obviously Taiwan is better on its own, right? You don't want them, yeah. It would be insensitive for me to tell you what I think is right, because maybe you have your own feelings, okay? So, insensitive has a different use from indifferent. And that's why when we use them, we sometimes have a different word that comes after them too. So, insensitive goes with about. He is insensitive about this topic. Usually, there's other words, but indifferent to, usually. Okay. So, when we ask questions about two words, we can learn a lot from them. And if we do it right, we can learn other words too. Sensitive, 有意思, sense, 它有意思. Okay, there's more that we can do with that. So, is that answer your question? Yeah?
Let me make a sentence. So please tell me which word I should use. So the young people play the cell phones all day long. They are insensitive to the world around them, or they are indifferent to the world around them.
Both, but they have different meanings.
Oh,
okay. If they are insensitive to the world, that means maybe there are old people who need to have a seat on the train, and the kids are playing with their phones. They don't feel for the old people who need to sit down, right? They don't feel anything. It's like their hearts don't work. Their hearts are cold if they are insensitive. But indifferent also means they don't care, but they don't make a difference. They, they're in their own world. Everything around them is the same. So you focus on your one screen, and in your world, this is all that exists. Everything else is the same. There's no difference between you and you. All I care about is this. So they have a similar use in that sentence, but they would give a different focus. Yeah. So yeah, it's a good example of how the words can be similar, but we can still make a difference between them. Okay.
Thanks.
No problem. Sports fans can start the year right by tuning in to enjoy these events. Okay. The important idea here is this word right.
Right.
Yeah. So, this can mean two different things. There are other words where we have a similar idea, like time. 英文的 time 中有时间，还有 how many times do I have to tell you?
次数
Right? But what's the difference? If I say, do you know what a time is? Does that make sense? A time. 有点奇怪 Right? 时间是可数还是不可数的？不可数 Right? The idea is uncountable. So time without a is time. But if we can count it, a time, then we can say how many times, right? So 几次有这个意思。So we have a lot of words that work like this. But when it comes to a word like this one here, then it's not a noun, it's not a verb. We can't look at this difference So we have to look at where it comes from. 如果我要说我说对 I said it right, I'm right. What's the opposite? 不对是 wrong, right? So one big meaning is not wrong. Okay, but what if I say like this, he is right behind you. Sports fans can start the year not wrong. It works, right? He is not wrong behind you. That doesn't work, right? Right? So, this one then, what else could it mean? If we use the word right this way, we have the idea of being correct. But what's another way to say the idea? If it's not wrong, if I go in a straight line, I don't turn, I go straight, then that's also a way to be right. Yeah? But we use a little bit of a different form here, and we use the word direct. Now the cool thing is, these are both the same meaning. When we talk about the law, about rules where we say, you know, you can be a good person or a bad person, that's where we get this idea here. You might also know it from shapes. If we talk about a square or we have, what's this? Triangle, right? Okay. This is a square. What about this? We call this a right angle. When it's 90 degrees, all of the corners, all of the angles are right. So